Hello traders, my name is Joseph and welcome back to my channel. And in today's video I'm going to be previewing the markets and I'm going to be showing you guys potential trade setups that you can keep an eye on in the coming weeks in the Forex market. Now obviously before we get into this video, I just want to say something, probably the reason why I've decided to start making content like this for you guys. Obviously when I first started learning how to trade, I don't know if you guys remember, but there's probably a few people that might remember. It's years ago, at the very beginning of my trading journey, there's someone who used to make this sort of videos. Like every weekend he drops a video called the Forex Market Preview, and obviously in those videos he kind of just shows you the kind of potential trade setups that are coming up in the Forex market. Like back then I didn't realize this, but obviously now I've realized the fact that when you become a professional day trader, like you learn to appreciate those kind of moments, simply because I think one of the things that are very, very important as a professional day trader is how you start your week in the Forex market is very, very important. And obviously the best way to start your week in the Forex market is if you're one step ahead, and the only way you can be one step ahead is if you're prepared. And so I find those kind of videos very, very helpful. It's unfortunate that nobody makes those sort of videos anymore. I think a lot of traders just kind of focusing more on just the business side of it, which is kind of sad. So that's why I've decided to start making content like this for you guys, because there's so many people at the very beginning of their trading journey that they do need a little bit of help. And so yeah, why not? It's about time to try and give something back and try and help in any way I can. But anyway, that's too much talking. Without further ado, let's head over to the charts, and I'm going to tell you guys what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be going over a few currency pairs, and I'm going to be analyzing the markets, and hopefully you can learn a thing or two. And if you end up doing, then I would appreciate if you can leave a like or even a comment down below. If there's anything that you want me to go over, then please do let me know. Okay, so I've got my chart here on the euro dollar, and that's the first currency pair that I'm going to start analyzing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this all the way to the weekly chart, because that kind of gives you an overall perspective in terms of what the direction of the market is in general. Now if you look at this market on a weekly time chart, you can see that the market is trending down. I mean, if you understand what structure is, and I'm talking about things like bullish and bearish structures and how to read market structures, which is very important, by the way, as a technical trader. If you want to be able to be successful in trading, you have to be able to understand structure, because structure is the language of the Forex market. Now we can look at this market on a higher time frame. We can see the market is trending down. I mean, it's very easy to kind of know it's trending down. If you just look at the whole of your screen, you can see which direction the market is going at. But obviously the most important thing, if you had to go technical, is you look at this is higher lows, and you can see the market hasn't violated any of the higher lows, which tells you that the market is trending down. Now at some point this move is going to end up going down just to follow the trend. Now it doesn't mean that this market is going to trend that way forever. At some point it's going to break out of that trend, and the only way it's gonna show you that is once it breaks one of these higher lows, then the market is likely gonna change direction. But looking at the market in a weekly time chart, we can see the market is clearly trending downwards. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna drop this down one more time frame, and we can see what the market has done. So now if you look at this market even on the daily time frame, you can see that we had this huge kind of downward impulse leg, and then we're at a point where the market is starting to give us a little correction. Now the question is, what is the market going to do from here? Now one thing I'm going to point out here is, now there's probably a lot of people that might not know this, but this is one of the strategies that I trade, which is called contraction and expansion, and it just involves looking at what the market has done. So if you look at this whole structure from here to here, what you're gonna see is the market is almost moving in sort of like a downward channel. So you can draw two lines here and see how the market has been moving in a downward channel. Now this is a contraction phase where at some point the market will break out of that contraction. Now, understanding these kind of strategy is all about understanding what the market does once it breaks out of this kind of contraction. The behavior of this market generally is that the market will break out of the contraction phase and then it will come back down to retest the previous structure low here before it continues moving in the upwards direction. Now we looked at this market in the weekly chart. We've seen that the market is trending downwards, and at some point the market is going to go back down to make another low. Now this could be the signal that at some point, if this market does come back to make another low, which it's going to do, because on a weekly time frame again the market is trending downwards, once it breaks this structure, we can expect the market to rally. Now, just to kind of show you guys a similar example, because it's a trade that I remember quite well. It's not exactly the same, but it's quite similar, and it's gonna open your eyes a little bit. So if you look back down here, we had a period where the market was trending in a downward channel, where the market came into a little contraction right here, and I want you to just watch how the market behaved once it came out of that contraction. The market rallied, broke out of that channel, and straight away we had a move back down, where the market went all the way down to retest the previous structure before we got the move where the market continued to rally. Now we're experiencing the same thing, or a very similar thing that the market is doing, and we can expect this move back down to retest the previous structure. So let's try and go down one more time frame and see if we do have any potential trades on the H4. So looking at the H4 right now, it's kind of, the H4 is really sometimes is pretty similar to the daily chart in a way that, I mean, if you kind of zoom in, you're going to see there's a lot of similarities. So we don't really have any kind of potential trade setups that I'm gonna be able to show you guys. So I'm gonna drop it down to an hour time frame, but actually what I also want to point out is you can even see a kind of similar contraction here, and you can see the behavior of that market in that contraction phase. Broke out of the channel, comes back down to retest the previous structure, and then it rallies. Guys, when it comes to structure, you always have to analyze what's happened in the past, because that is always going to give you an indication as to what the market is about to do next, or how the market is going to behave. Now this behavior is not going to be the same. It's never going to be exactly the same, but it's going to be similar. So it's up to you. If you understand how this structure works, then you can take advantage of it, of course. So I'm gonna have to move on to the next currency, because it doesn't look like we do have a trade on the an immediate trade on the euro dollar. So I'm gonna switch over my currency to the pound US dollar, and I'm gonna start again on the weekly time frame, looking at the market on a whole. So looking at the pound on a weekly time frame, let's just zoom in a little bit to see the whole picture of what the market has been doing. So if you look at this market on a weekly time frame, we can see the market has come into a little bit of structure, and this is a previous structure low that we set back in, hold on, we need to move all of this, that we set back in 1985. And that is a long time ago. A lot of people were not born. I wasn't even born then, but yeah, the market went all the way back to retest these structures, and now we're seeing a reaction where the market is starting to rally from that point onwards. So if you're looking at this on a weekly time frame, you could say, okay, this might be an opportunity for you to buy in the market. But obviously, unless if you have lots of capital, then you're not really going to trade the weekly chart, are you? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna drop this down one time frame lower and see what the market has done. So we're on a daily time frame now. I'm trying to look at this market and try to analyze the market. Now on a daily chart, you can see that the market is clearly trending downwards. Again, if you understand structure, I don't want to go all over this because people by now should understand or should know what a bullish and bearish structure is, or how to be able to recognize them. So you can look at this market, you can see the movement of this market. Like I said, it's all about the imperfection rule. If you know my courses, if you know my teaching, you are going to be familiar with the imperfection rule. This is a perfect bearish market. And a bearish market is made up of one or two or more bearish structures back to back. Now, the bearish structures don't have to be exactly the same, but there's a certain rule that these markets stick to. There's a certain rule that the structures stick to, and you have to be able to understand those rules to be able to understand that this is a perfect bearish market. It doesn't look symmetrical, it doesn't look pretty to the eyes, but it is a perfect. So that's why when I'm talking about what I mean by the imperfection rule. So now the market has come back down into this structure, but we're still bearish on the daily time frame. So now you can expect continuation, even though on a weekly time frame we've reacted, just because the market kind of touched the previous low that was set back in 1985. But now that we've come back come back down the time frame below, we looked at the market on a daily time frame. We can see that the market is trending down, and we can see the market is starting to rally. So now at some point between this level here, at some point this market is gonna, and at some point below this level the market will turn back down and head down, unless if the market decides to go and break out of this structure, and then you're gonna start positioning yourself to start thinking about going long. But as long as the market stays below this line here, then we know that the market is likely going to continue trending down, simply because in the Forex market the trend is not only your friend, it's the only friend you've got. So you always have to follow the trend. So let's drop this down to a much lower time frame and see if we do have any trading opportunities. Now the daily time frame and the H4 are quite similar, so I'm not really going to stress too much on the H4. Let's go over to the hourly time frame and we look at what the market is doing. Now we're on the hourly time frame. We don't really have any kind of trade, to be honest, because it looks like this market is coming into a little consolidation right at the top right there. We're seeing a little consolidation, and so probably heading into next week we can probably expect this market to come back down. So we might possibly have a short trade next week in the Forex market. Yeah, that's just purely based on consolidation. Now obviously if you look at this market further back, you can see this, we're coming up from a huge impulse leg to the upside. So these type of consolidation usually end up breaking. They usually end up breaking in the upwards direction. So okay, so let's move on to the next currency pair, and that is the dollar yen. Looking at the dollar yen, we're going to do something very similar again. We head over to the weekly chart. Now if you guys remember the first currency pair that I just analyzed, the euro dollar, you're going to remember that I showed you a potential a contraction phase where the market, but you know, before I even get into that, let me just analyze the next two currency pairs, and I'm going to come back to this because it's something very, very important on this chart that I'm going to show you, just so you can see how structure actually works. But looking at this market on a weekly chart, we can see that the market is trending up on a weekly chart. There's no I don't think there's any kind of debate about that. I mean, we had a huge impulse leg, we got a correction, the market made another impulse leg to the upside, so we got a perfect bullish structure right here. So now the question is, what's the next move of the dollar yen? So let's drop this down to the daily chart and let's see what the market has been doing recently. So if you look at this market on a daily chart and you tend to just isolate this part of the chart, we can see that there has been some kind of a communication from the market. That's what I like to call it. Every single time the market breaks a structure, I call it, that's the first sign of communication. If you're able to understand the language of the Forex market, that's the sign of communication. So we had a move to the upside, we had a pullback, another move to the upside, another pullback, another move to the upside, and we had a deep pullback that came back down and broke this previous structure. And this is the first sign of communication that the market is telling you, hold on, I'm about to do something else. And it's up to you as a trader to pay attention to that, to what the market is about to do. Now let me tell you what the market is going to do. Now that we've broken this structure, this is normal. If you understand structure again, this is normal. Once the market breaks a structure, 90% of the time the market will retrace. It's almost like it's gathering momentum to go again. So the next move of this market is going to be heading down. Now, obviously, we have to go a little bit lower to another lower time frame to see exactly what that move is going to be, because you're not just going to go ahead and short the market once the market reopens on Sunday at 10 p.m. You're just going to go and short the market. No, you're not going to do that, because that's just gambling. And there's a fine line, guys, between being able to trade and being able to plan your trade and go into the market. So I'm going to drop this down to the 4-hour chart. The 4-hour chart and the 1-hour chart are quite similar. Now, if you look at this market, look at this structure as a whole. Does anything here rings a bell? I mean, I spoke about this just probably, 10 minutes ago when I was looking at the euro dollar. Can you look at this part of this structure? Do you see that? Contraction. And what happened right now? The market has broken out of that contraction channel. What's going to happen? We're coming back down to retest the lows before we go up. So the dollar yen is going to be heading down in the weeks to come. So if you are a trader, if you understand trading, then you have to be able to plan accordingly, because the next move on this is going to be down. But let's go on the 1-hour chart and see if we do have any potential. No, we don't really have potential. We know this is definitely going to end up coming down to retest the low. This is going to be the move of the dollar yen next week. So let's move on to the dollar CAD. I think I'm going to do a couple more and then we call it a day, because I don't want this video to be too long. When it's just too long, it gets really boring. So I'll just show you guys the most important stuff, and then we head and then we call it a day. So anyway, looking at the market on the dollar CAD on a weekly time frame, straight away what you're going to notice is the fact that we had an impulse leg, and then the market has kind of come into a little consolidation right at the top end of that channel. So we've got a little consolidation here, and so that's what the market is doing. The market has come into lower consolidation, and these types of consolidation usually tends to break in the upwards direction. Like I said, the consolidation usually breaks in the direction of the impulse leg. So we have an impulse leg and the market is coming back to the, but the fact this market is still in consolidation, you might find that the market will go to the top and then it's going to come back. There's no telling how long this consolidation is going to last. That's one thing about the Forex market. Sometimes it's a bit of a an educated, I wouldn't say guess, but it's something you cannot, you can't predict that. Nobody can predict when a consolidation is going to end. If anybody can tell you when a consolidation is going to end, then they're lying to you. The only thing you can predict is where the market is going to head once that consolidation ends. So it's up to you as a trader to plan your trade accordingly. So I'm going to drop this down a little bit notch. We actually had a trade on this currency pair this week, me and my trader. So I'll drop this to the 1 hour chart. I think we do have, we had a it has to be on the 4 hour chart. We had a bearish godly pattern on this currency pair. I'm just going to draw it out for you. I'm not going to go ahead and put the Fibonacci numbers for you. I mean, those of you guys who are familiar with advanced pattern, you are going to see this is not a pattern that I trade, to be honest with you. I'm kind of I do a lot of day trading nowadays, but I do have traders that I have to send them trade setups. So this is a pattern that we took in our WhatsApp trading group, and we can see the market has already given us the first target. I'm not quite sure we've reached the second target yet. Are we at the 618? No, not yet. But yeah, so this is the dollar CAD analysis. Now we move on to the dollar Swiss franc. That's probably going to be the last currency pair I'm going to check out today. And so let's look at this market on a weekly time frame. Now the reason why I said when I'm looking at this dollar Swiss franc, I'm going to go back to the dollar yen, because there's a very, very similar setup that I want you guys to pay attention to. And this is probably a setup where those people who are long-term traders, you wouldn't want to miss this. So the dollar Swissy has been in a consolidation for the last probably 11 years. And that consolidation started off after the market rallied, had a huge impulse leg here, and then we had a consolidation here. Guys, you have to remember this when I'm telling you. The longer this consolidation takes, the bigger the move to the upside that's coming. This move that we're going to get to the upside, this is the move where if you're someone who is kind of drawn to long-term investment, long-term trading, you would want to be positioning yourself on this trade. Now I'm going to be going over this trade. I'm going to be talking about this trade for as long as I continue to make this Forex market previews. I'm going to be talking about this trade. And the reason why I said I'm going to go back to the US dollar yen and show you what this trade means is, and I'm going to show you. So here we're looking at the US dollar yen, and we've got a similar kind of structure. Like I said, the structures are never going to be exactly the same, but they're very similar. We had an huge impulse leg to the upside, and then the market consolidated for around 2016, 22 for 6 years. So 6 years consolidation. We had this move where the market went up by about 3,500 pips. Now the US dollar Swissy has been consolidating for almost 11 years. That's double the time that that has taken the US dollar yen. This has been consolidating for 11 years. The move that's coming to the upside is going to be huge. We're talking about upwards of 3,500 pips, 4,000 pips. That's what we're talking about. If you understand trading, if you understand what that's going to equate to in terms of volume, in terms of the potential profit returns. But of course you have to put everything into perspective. You have to put into the risk into perspective as well. You have to look at your account size. So you can't just have like a £1,000 account and then go and place like 0.1 lot or whatever. So you have to really think carefully how you want to approach this. But this is a trade that I'm going to keep talking about for a really long time. But anyway, so I think this is going to be the end of the video, and I've got some exciting news for you guys. For those of you guys who are interested in kind of perfecting their trading craft or trying to learn alongside someone who's a professional trader, I do have live trading room. This is the first time I'm doing something like this on my website, which is a live trading room where, guys, if you sign up, I'm going to be doing live sessions, every UK sessions from 7 to 10 o'clock every single day. I'm going to be analyzing the market. I'm going to be trading live, and you guys can come and see. I mean, listen, if you sign up, you get a week's free. So you have nothing to lose. You don't have to pay anything. You can come during the first week and just have a look. And if you like what you see, you stay. If you don't like what you see, there's no qualms, but it's not gonna hurt for you guys to just come and have a look. Even if you decide to join me on my WhatsApp trading group, you also get a free trial for 2 weeks, I think. So you have nothing to lose, really. It's because one of the things I learned as a trader, or one of the things when I was learning how to trade, is it doesn't hurt for you to kind of try different things to see what works and what doesn't work, because you're never gonna know what's gonna work for you as a trader. So you have to keep dipping your legs into different ponds and see what water suits you, and what you like, and what what works for you, because that's what it's going to come down to at the end of the day. Because it's very important if you're able to know a trading style that works for you. And also I'm still teaching people how to day trade, because that's what I do on a daily basis. So if you're interested in that, I mean, this is probably the cheapest trading course you're ever going to come across. But because I like trading, and like I said, I want to give giving back to I want to give giving back something. I mean, and try and help as many people as I can. So if you are interested in that, you can head over to my website. The link is going to be in the description down below. And I'm also going to be streaming on TikTok now, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so do go follow me. I'm also going to start posting on TradingView. I've got an account on TradingView now. I mean, don't follow my old account, because that account doesn't work anymore. I've been blocked on that one. But yeah, so don't tell TradingView I created it, because a lot of people have just been asking me, like, when are you gonna start posting on TradingView? I can't, like, because they've stopped me. They don't want me to post on TradingView. So, but I do have ways that I'm gonna start posting, and if you guys are interested, like I said, I'm gonna put the link in this video. So please do go and show me some love. Like I said, if you do have any more questions, just drop in the comment section down below. And yeah, anyway, thank you guys, and I hope you have an amazing week in trading. I'll see you next time.